Hey guys, I wanted to sit down and make this video, not because I'm brand loyal or um, anyone's paying me to. I've just seen a lot of guys go out of business over the years uh, from buying the wrong equipment. And what I'll go through real quickly is my 10-year experience. So there's a lot of people nowadays that talk about, you should do this with your life, whether it's the coronavirus or anything else. They try to tell you what their opinion is, but they don't ever qualify why they have that opinion or why they have the right to say that or why you should care or listen. So my background is I own Straight Line Delivery. We're a LTL trucking company. We started off with a van and we just did 3 skids at a time. Then we moved on to 25-foot and 30-foot flatbed non-CDL trailers. And then we made the progression to 48-foot semis and 40-foot flatbed hotshot trailers. And my experience has been, to just let everybody else know, I've been in business 10 years. We've done, I don't know, I'd have to look, 8, 9, 10,000 loads now. I don't know how many it is. I'd have to look. 10,000 loads probably. I've had a Ford F-350 that was a 2001. Had the 7.3 in it, and everybody told me what I hear a lot about. Dodge Ram. Well, it's got a Cummins in it. Oh, Ford, the 7.3, oh, that's a 1,000,000-mile motor, which it is. I mean, it's an underpowered dump truck motor. It's a 1,000,000-mile motor. It's a really low RPM, really slow moving, great big cubic displacement motor that's underpowered, so it's only working half as hard as it needs to. The problem is everything attached to the motor breaks or doesn't work right or just was lackluster. The brakes, okay. Transmission on our 7.3, they're garbage. Never had any problem with the rear end. Everything else in the truck did pretty well. 4-wheel drive is okay. Ball joints, all that kind of stuff, it's okay. Never pulled all that much. It wouldn't pull that much. It doesn't have that much power. So it did fine. It did fine. I put about 320,000 miles, roughly somewhere around that, on that truck over the course of a few years, pulling 14,000-pound trailers. Never had any horrible issues with it. Just little stuff breaking around the motor, around the 7.3. Then I had a 2007 GMC with the Allison transmission. I had it tuned up. I had it running pretty good. It'd get good gas mileage. Put just under 400,000 miles on that truck. Drove and shifted like the day I bought it when I sold it with 400,000 miles on it. Have no complaints out of that truck. We weren't pulling the heavier loads, so I can't really compare that to anything else. All I can do is tell you right now why this video is titled the way it's titled. The F450, and I've owned just about every brand of car, but the F450, I just want you guys to realize, I'm not brand loyal. The reason I can say this, and the reason you may want to listen, is because I've been doing this for 10 years. I've had drivers sign on with me, come in and out of my life. Some of them I helped start their own business. But the F450, pulling a 40-foot trailer, so tagged out at 38 to 42,000 pounds. That means the truck and the trailer fully loaded can be up to 40,000 pounds. That truck has outperformed every other truck, hands down. Without a doubt, there's not even a close, it's not even a tie. Now a Chevy or a GMC 4500 series vehicle, I think would do just fine. We just haven't used one for that purpose. I had a lot of great experiences with my Allison transmission and my 6.6 Duramax. No complaints out of it whatsoever. Just haven't seen it perform doing stuff quite as heavy. I think, if I had to guess, it would probably do just fine. Now, the worst truck that we have ever encountered, that we've ever had to deal with, by far, is the Ram. The Dodge Ram has failed every single time somebody was put it on the road underneath my authority. Every single solitary Dodge Ram has failed catastrophically. It usually starts at just under 100,000 miles. There's a turbo or a transmission, or the air conditioner won't work anymore. And it's all the small little things that just kill the spirit of a brand new owner operator who's trying to make a go of it and trying to earn his way through this life, doing his own thing. When you've been in business for 4 months and your truck's down for 2 weeks because the air conditioner won't work, or your first trip out in a brand new, off the lot, from the dealership, brand new Dodge, the tires are cupping and they're wearing out. You're not going to get 5,000 miles on the tires. Something's wrong with the front end. Or a chain gets thrown off the transfer case and busts apart the whole transmission. Or you're on your second transmission or your third transmission in less than 250,000 miles. These trucks fall apart. My message to anyone who will listen, who runs a business, and if you have a Dodge Ram and you love it, no need to comment, just scroll on past. This isn't for you. If you don't know what to buy and you're just looking for advice, I have seen 6, 7, 8 Dodge Rams over the past 10 years just absolutely spend so much time in the shop. And it's not just that they break. Everything breaks. Ford, Chevys, they all break. When a Ram breaks, they get it to the shop, they take forever to get to it. And we're talking about Ram dealerships from Florida to New York, all the way out west. They take forever to get to it. They never have the parts. It takes them weeks to get the parts. And then when they fix it, it's not fixed right. I don't think I've ever had one roll out of being serviced that was actually fixed correctly. So my experience with the Ram, and if you love them, this isn't for you. My experience has been utter failure, an absolute disaster. Cummins is a good motor, and I think they're coasting off the fact, Ram is coasting off the fact that Cummins is a great motor. All right, it's well known, people recognize it. They're coasting off that reputation, kind of like what a great, nice neighborhood 40 years ago is now an unsafe, crap neighborhood, but the reputation of it is still kind of there and it exists like, oh, that's not a bad neighborhood. That's kind of what Ram has become. They're beautiful trucks. The interiors are fantastic. They look great. The Cummins is a great pulling motor. Everything else, just like that 7.3 Ford I had, everything else around that great motor fell apart. So if it was 2000, and this is something, just so you know where I'm coming from, when I bought that Ford, I was actually looking for a Ram. I was looking for a stick shift Dodge Ram. The problem is I wanted to keep under CDL and I couldn't find one that was, I had a 14,000 pound trailer. I couldn't find one that was a gross vehicle weight rating of 10,000 pounds or less that was a dually. For some reason, they were just over the edge. I was about to fly to Wisconsin from Ohio to buy a Dodge Ram because I had seen guys use them in the 90s. They were fantastic. I drove 2 of them for a previous job. Never had any trouble with them. Greatest truck. That's what I was looking for. Everybody that I knew that had a truck that pulled heavy stuff pulled with a Ram. But that was the 90s. Just like that 7.3. That 7.3 in the Ford, yeah, it's a 1,000,000-mile motor, but you're going to spend weeks and months, a year in the shop for all the other stuff that breaks because there's so much weakness around the motor. It's not just me saying it either. Start looking up, talk to mechanics that don't have a bias and work on stuff. I think they'll tell you the same thing. I know there's a Scotty Kilmer, I think he's off of the East Coast. He tells you don't buy Dodge. I love their Hellcats. I love some of their cars. Their Caravans have always been great. But if you're getting into hotshot trucking and it's 2021, do not buy a Dodge Ram. That's the best advice I could give you. Trailers, there's some good ones, there's some bad ones. I've had bad luck out of just about all the trailers because they're not made to the same specifications as automotive when they machine parts. But if you're getting in this business today, buy an F450, buy a Chevy or GMC 4500, and do not buy a Ram. I honestly don't know, and I'm not saying this to beat a dead horse or to be facetious or joke. I don't know if I could earn a living if you gave me a free Ram. I might make it a year, but that second year, I think I'd be down so much, I don't know if I'd make a living or not. I don't know if I'd be able to keep my business afloat if I was one man driving one Dodge Ram that had 80,000 miles on it. If you gave it to me for free, I think I'd have to turn you down because it would be so much trouble, it wouldn't be worth it. So there's my 2 cents worth. Again, coming from 10 years of doing this, 10,000 loads, more, I don't know, and seeing how everything works over the long haul, buying trucks, running them for 3-4 years, putting 400,000 miles on them, F450, then Chevy 4500, and skip the Ram, guys. It'll save you money. If you got any questions, any more comments, give me a call. As always, I like talking to you guys. I like answering your questions. I want to save anybody from ruining themselves. I just talked to a guy that lives out in Washington State. He was about to buy a Ram. I told him about this. He said, you ought to tell everybody, so that's why I'm making this video. So until next time, thanks, guys. Any questions, you can email me at straightlinedelivery@gmail.com, or you can call our office, 937-506-2252. Thanks. See ya.